Hello and welcome to Recharge Wrestling. We're here to plug you into the world of professional wrestling. I'm Fisher and I'm here as usual with Keeney.
Hey guys.
And Krusty.
Hi.
Tonight we're here to review WWE Wrestlemania Backlash, which I did do a short review on my own for. If you haven't seen it on our YouTube channel, on our Recharge Wrestling channel, go check that out if you just want a short version. But if you want a full pod and more detail and expert analysis, listen to us.
We are experts, actually.
If you just
bang on there.
If you just want a longer length version with more input, then obviously this is the pod for you. So
this is the place.
So we might as well just crack on with it. There's 6 matches to talk about. First of all, I think the first thing to talk about is the fact there was nothing on the pre-show at all, which I thought was a bit strange.
That seems to be a common thing now, doesn't it? If I remember rightly, there wasn't a pre-show on Mania.
There wasn't, no.
On a 2-hour pre-show.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing now, is they're not going to have pre-show matches at all. They're just going to chat on the pre-show, which I don't mind them doing, by the way. I do think sometimes the pre-show matches feel like they're less important because obviously half the crowd isn't there sometimes, and nothing major is going to happen in it as well. Sometimes you get a title change, but like most of the time, it's nothing. So yeah, I don't mind it, but it's just takes some getting used to, I guess.
I guess we were just used to it, wasn't we? But in a way, it's a pain to sort of scroll through all the chat to try and find the match if you're not that interested in watching it. And as you say, half the crowd's not there, which is a bit of an insult to those wrestlers.
Yeah. Well, I think also the need for a match on a pre-show is gone, because it's the purpose of it in the past was so people would buy the full show, whereas now they've got this network subscription. You don't need people. People have already brought it, so you don't need to try and lure them in with this pre-show. So it's kind of lost its relevance. So I guess you don't need one anymore.
No, it's just, I thought because there was only 6 matches on the card, I just assumed we'd get one, because 6 matches is nice and short. But I have to say, it went under 3 hours and it was very welcome. Shorter than an episode of Raw.
I'm surprised they didn't add. I mean, I think we said in our prediction videos, I thought for sure they'd add more matches, and just to have 6. I mean, it was great. I mean,
especially for a minor pay-per-view, I don't think you need 10 matches.
I agree.
If it's SummerSlam, do 10, 12 matches, whatever. But for Backlash, like if they'd have had 10 matches on that card, it would have brought the level of the show down, in my opinion.
Because usually there's the odd match where you're like, oh, whereas really this one had probably one which wasn't quite up to par, but it wasn't bad. It was just the rest of them were so good.
You'd rather let them let 6 matches breathe than try and cram in an extra 2 or 3 for the sake of it.
They all had good time, didn't they?
Yeah. So let's get to those matches now. So we started pretty hot with Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Crowd really into it. Obviously, being the opener, I think it was a good choice for opening show of the match.
Definitely.
Match of the show as well. What did you make of the match overall?
Well, before we get to the match, I actually went on the WWE website the night before just to have a look and see if there's any matches added, because they often do this. And they were leading with this match as a WrestleMania Backlash on a website. So rather than leading with the 6-man match or the I Quit match, they headlined their advert as Seth v Cody 2. So I thought, it might main event. It seems to be what they were leading with in terms of advertising it on the day before the show. But a good choice of opening, definitely. And I think, we've said 100 times, we'll say 100 more times before we're done, that Seth Rollins can't have a bad match, I don't think. And these two just complement each other great.
Two of the best in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, Seth isn't necessarily on a good winning run, but
no, I think I have to forget all about that.
He brings the best out of whoever he's against. And he tells a story in the ring. I mean, that's the thing. This match, there's a lot of story being told. There's a lot of reversals. Even the finish. I know the finish is a bit screwy for this match, but it told a little story. Seth tried to get the roll up, and then Cody got it and held the tights, basically just getting Seth back, which we think is going to lead to a match down the line.
You mentioned reversals. That this was incredible for them. There was 2-minute segments of them basically not managing to get one up in the other. And I love it when you get those sort of sections where you're not too sure who's going to hit the move. I think there was one where they were like putting both each other in like pedigree positions, but I know that Cody actually hits a pile driver usually rather than a pedigree. But then it ended with Seth hitting a Falcon Arrow, and it just, that segment was just incredible. Obviously you're not going to get a free count off the back of that, but it really gets the pace going. I don't think these guys really slowed down, which I love wrestling matches like this. There was no real slow pace sort of hold.
If anything, the slowest bit was at the start anyway, like the first minute or so, which is fine because you've got to build into it a little bit, and then after that it was, like you say, bang bang, loads of near falls, reversals.
Reminded me a bit of Seth and Edge, this match, where there was Seth and Edge where they kept reversing each other and doing each other's moves, and there was kind of that in Seth and Edge, and this is what this one reminded me of, this match.
I think it's great because it shows like almost a realism of the pro athlete sort of studying each other and managing to be at the top of their game.
They even mentioned that
quite get the one up.
They even mentioned that on commentary, actually, that because Seth kept reversing Cody's moves, they're like, oh, he's done his homework because he's had time to prepare for this match.
Well, and that's
at WrestleMania, he obviously didn't know who he was facing.
That's the thing, is storytelling. They've played in the fact that he didn't know at Mania, but he does know now, and Seth's played into that and has wrestled the match differently, and I like those details. I just think, I mean, I can't speak highly enough of Seth and Cody as well. Cody was great as well.
Cody was amazing. Great. I thought some of the things the way he took moves as well, like he took a buckle bomb, and I always get a bit nervous after the Finn incident years ago when he hits a buckle bomb, but the way he sort of took it, and then Seth hit a frog splash, and he almost reminded me of Montez Ford, the height he got on it. It was incredible. I've never seen him get that high. And little segments like where Cody hit the crossroads and Seth sort of, it wasn't like it didn't look too fake with the foot on the rope. It was like he landed sort of under the rope, which really worked so well. And that would have been a free count if he hadn't have been there. So it was really, really, really good. Yeah, I really loved this match. I think it actually did up their Mania match.
I was going to ask that in a minute. Yeah, do you think it was better the match overall?
I agree with what you said with the anticipation of the Mania match. Obviously blew everything out of the water. You're not going to get that for a long time. That sort of a sense of anticipation. I'm struggling to think what could top that. But in terms of the actual in-ring, remember, these guys have had a lot longer now to work together, so they've perfected it. I could not pick a fault with that. If I was going to pick one, possibly the roll-up finish, but again, it was quite clever, the fact that one tried it and then the other did. Which
it was tights and not just a roll-up as well. If it was just a roll-up, I think it would be different. But the fact that it was Seth trying to cheat because he was desperate and then it backfired on him, I think that plays into the story more, if anything.
Yeah, just as long as we get, I'm sure we will get another match off the back of this, but as long as we get another one and this leads into, because that finish lends itself to lead into a third match. As long as that comes down the line, which I'm sure it will, but that's the only caveat to that. I think as well with this match, lost my train of thought. Thinking about the next match. Okay. No. Sorry. Comparing it to Mania. Yeah, I agree. The wrestling was probably better, but when I'm looking back at match of the year, I'm picking Mania over this just for everything around the match. Because
I totally get that.
I think I said to you guys, probably said it on the pod. The goosebumps and I got butterflies in that gap between Cody coming out.
I think we were all so excited a stomach for it. Day.
Like, my God, I was like, I've never been more excited for an entrance. Like you said, I don't know what can top that. Like, maybe since CM Punk and AEW was the last time I felt that kind of excitement, even though I knew it was coming. That's probably the comparison. But this match was great. I mean, the finish, again, we'll get to finishes of matches as we go on, but in isolation, this finish was fine, and it led to a big.
I love another spot just quickly as well is Seth did Dusty's move. That Cody did on him at Mania. Seth then stole it. The punches. I can't remember what he calls it, but that was like, they were saying that what side of disrespect it was and stuff. That was great as well. There's so much good stuff in there.
I like the fact Seth pulled out a pedigree because that's quite rare now. I think because of his knee injury, he doesn't do it too often. But
yeah,
when he pulls it out, it really sort of means something rather than just the same. I don't think he actually hit a stomp, did he? He didn't even.
No, he didn't
go for one. So,
no.
Interesting.
So, should we move on to the next one?
I think so.
So, obviously, after that, we got it was Bobby Lashley and Omos next, wasn't it?
It was.
Not too much to say about this match, but I think we all had talk about predictions actually. So Cody, not many people had Cody, a few did. We all had Seth, I think.
We did. We all got it
so
wrong.
we all got that wrong. This match, we all had Omos, and we all got it right. I think we all it was kind of obvious that Omos was going to win this, I think, and the MVP was going to be the deciding factor now that he's on his side. What did you make of the match? And again, did you think it was better or the worse or about the same when it comes to the match at WrestleMania?
I don't know if I can remember the Mania match. I can't remember how it went. I know Lashley won. I don't think it was much. I think in terms of Omos, this might be the best I've seen him in ring so far, I would say. I thought he was all right here. Again, not special, but he was fine. But again, we started with a hold in the tights roll up finish, and here we had a Kane by MVP and then Omos getting the win. So a kind of not a clean finish for the second match in a row. That's the only thing on a pay-per-view. I don't know. And again, they had another one we'll get to later, another kind of not quite a clean finish. And I wonder if they could have broken them up a bit more. It just as the show as a whole being booked, a bit interesting to start with a couple like this rather than, throw a Corbin and Moss. Or actually, I can't remember if Corbin Moss had a finish. I'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah, I just think they could have split these two up in terms of the finishes. That's really.
Oh, I think if they put Corbin and Moss next to it, it would have been worse because it would have been back-to-back roll-ups. So
I think Corbin Moss might have been the other finish I was thinking of actually.
Yeah,
so,
that would have been worse.
Example.
If we had two matches and two roll-ups, I think we would have been getting ready to skid mark.
We'd have been skidding all over the place. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But then I guess the pay-per-view itself comes into play here because this isn't a ender of feuds. This pay-per-view.
No, I feel like
it's a continuer of feuds.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly. Yeah, I think we were never going to get too many decisive finishes here. What we got was just a couple of hours of good matches. I think this was marginally better than the WrestleMania match was nothing special. This was nothing special at all either. But I agree with you. Almost looked slightly better. And I think the match was helped by the fact it had the outside interference, made it a bit more exciting rather than the slow plodding Omos offense and then Lashley trying to come back from it. Like the MVP stuff made it slightly more interesting, I guess, which helped it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't feel as entertained by MVP turning on Lashley as I thought I would be. It's a bit of a shame, really, because I thought it would be quite a massive deal to me, but it's okay. It's not my favourite feud for Lashley, I'm afraid. But yeah, I agree with the point of the match was better than the Mania one. Omos did definitely look better. And yeah, I'm just looking forward, I guess, to see where it goes. And I'm not exactly wishing it to be over at the moment, but yeah, I was
going to ask a question. We're now 1-1 in this feud, whereas Cody's 2-0, but there's still a potential for another match there. Maybe there's another match here. We're 1-1. Maybe they have a settler. But my question to you guys is, are you looking forward to that, or would you prefer to see Lashley v MVP?
Yeah, I think I do want to see Lashley the MVP, but I just don't know what MVP can do now in the ring. It's been a while since he's had a match, and he's not really a wrestler now. He's definitely more of a manager. But the feud feels like it should be between Bobby and MVP, so I know what you mean in that sense.
Although you say not doing much, to be honest, I think all he'd need to do was take a spear or two. Because it's not exactly, he's not going to go 10 minutes with Lashley, is he? I mean, that would just be awful. The thing is, I've been looking at this card and thinking, yeah, that could be in a Hell in a Cell, that could be in a cell, that could be in a cell. They can't put them all in a cell. That's the only issue, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that match will be interesting enough to put in the cell. I think they'll save it for the bigger feuds.
I guess it depends what else. Well, I guess they've got quite a few other feuds they could push towards there. I mean, who knows? We'll see as the weeks progress.
I just think Seth Cody, if they go again.
Yeah, I think that one has to.
That has to be. And I think they'll do a women's match. So normally they only have 2, they might have 3.
Yeah. I know we're going back to Seth and Cody, but that'd definitely be the poster, wouldn't it? I reckon. Seth and Cody in the cell. Yeah. And it could definitely be up for another match of the year. Winner.
Yeah, because Cody hasn't actually been on a poster yet for a pay-per-view, has he? Because obviously WrestleMania is a surprise, and here is Edge.
Yeah, what I would like them to do with Seth and Cody. Okay, I know we've moved on, but I just want to say I would like them to make that match number 1 contenders match. The third match, Seth and Cody, they'll go at it again and just say whoever wins this is fighting Roman for the belt. For the Raw, because that's a problem we've had the last few weeks or since Mania is no one's. Okay, Cody's the only one who's mentioned the WWE title at all since WrestleMania. No one else has mentioned it.
The problem is with Seth, he almost can't. He's lost so many times now. I'm thinking, how could he even be a challenger for the belt?
I know, I know. But then they just threw.
It's sickening how close he got to winning that title.
Yeah, threw Seth in at Rumble completely cold, and it worked. So yeah, Seth's one of those. I think you just make it work wherever. Same with AJ as well. He's another one.
Should we move on now? We've segued, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not too much else to say about that match, really.
So Edge versus AJ Styles. Straight away, this was just awesome. I love the start of Edge's music. You think you know me, you think you know me.
It's really grown on me. That's the tune in general.
It is. It's cool. I just love that. You never knew me. Just a proper dig at the fans. His character's amazing.
It works so well that it's almost like his whole career so far has been leading up so he could use this music in his heel turn. You think you knew me sort of thing. I love how he's played on that. It's brilliant. But yeah, I mean, this match again, I don't know if it was as good as Mania. I'm not sure on this one. I thought the Mania match was excellent. I thought this was really good. Again, can AJ have a bad match or Edge? They're both incredible.
The only match I remember AJ having that was bad was probably with Omos, and that's because they let Omos beat him up.
Well, yeah.
But no, I agree. Point, generally, if you put the proper opponent in front of him, again, I think I'm the same as you. Really, I don't know whether the match was any better than Mania, but I think the ending angle, made it
I think that took it over the edge for me.
That was awesome.
Pardon the pun there. I didn't even intend that.
So I assume everyone who's watched has listening to this has watched, but if not, you had a masked, hooded figure interfere towards the end, and I was I don't know about you guys, but I was studying. I was like, I recognise those trousers.
I knew it wasn't because they were saying I thought it made it obvious it was a woman. First of all, I thought it was a woman by the body shape, and they kept saying he. And then they just go, "Who's that?" or something. Yeah. They go. They kept saying he.
Or
him. Yeah. I was like, it's so blatantly not going to be a man then. But yeah, I thought it was. To be honest, I thought it was Rhea.
I predicted Rhea.
I think I predicted it a few weeks back, actually.
Based on what we've heard and seen and everything as well.
And her look
experts in the field.
I think her look's been changing on Raw last few weeks as well. It just completely makes sense her to be in this group, and I'm so glad that she is getting this kind of serious.
They also got a female to interfere in a woman to interfere in a man's match.
I like that. Yeah, we haven't had a mixed faction in a while on the main roster either.
Oh God, we've needed it. Oh, it's so nice to see.
So good, isn't it? And this is going to push Rhea, isn't it?
Yeah. This is the thing I'm most excited about off the back of the pay-per-view is watching Judgment Day and what they do and what's next for Rhea and Edge. And I mean, I think with what we saw with Priest coming down and Balor, because obviously Priest was part from ringside, he came down. Balor, they brawled in the ring, which kind of led towards the finish. And in my mind, a tag team match is coming up. AJ and Balor v Priest and Edge, which is going to be insane if that's what we get. Maybe you've got do they incorporate Rhea in that match as well? And then you throw Liv on the other side with Rhea and Liv's feud?
I think Liv could join.
I saw that. I saw an insane poster for Hell in a Cell that someone had fantasy booked. I think I showed it to you, Keeney. I don't think I showed it to you, Rusty, because I don't think you'd watched the show at the time. But it was Hell in a Cell match, and it was Edge, Priest, Rhea, and they added Ciampa into the group. And then it was against AJ, Balor, Mustafa Ali, and Liv Morgan. And I was like, that would be insane. That would be genuinely insane.
Could you imagine though that would be something so new if they did 3-on-3 with Rhea and Liv mixed.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a tag, is it? Mixed tornado tag, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think you have. I'm not against you having female or men, because in these matches often you see the females.
It's also
females,
believable
the men
that Rhea could beat up like.
Yeah, let's have Rhea throw Balor around.
It's not. It wouldn't look stupid if she hit Finn Balor.
Yeah, or even well, I guess Liv's a bit more. A bit harder to believe, but Liv could do some Hurricane Ranas. She could do some spots. I think it could be really cool. Again, if I'm booking, I don't know about Ciampa and Ali, and it might be a bit far fetched to add those guys in as well. Yeah, they're not going to
pull. That's too many people pulling into one.
Yeah, but just these 6. If you get those 6 in like a Hell in a Cell mixed tag match, it could be insane.
Instead of Liv, Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss.
That could be awesome.
I mean, I say Liv because that's who she was feuding with in the build.
Yeah, I mean that'd work. I'm just thinking of bringing in.
Alexa Bliss is one you could put in Judgment Day. With her character.
Depends if you want to change her character and put her sort of against the evil because she's come from that. Could be quite a cool angle.
That's a good point actually. That's not a bad shout actually. Yeah, I guess the story's been there, hasn't it?
What was interesting about the finish as well is that Edge didn't win with like a spear. AJ actually passed out in a chokehold.
Yeah, that made him evil.
I actually liked more. I think them using submissions as finishers.
This is happening more and more often for heel characters.
Yeah, like Roman does it. Yeah, like Roman does with his.
And I'm all for this. This is little. It's not even little. It's quite big details they're doing here. But when a character changes as drastically as Edge's has, it doesn't make sense for him to still be having the same move set and doing the spear. You want him to bring something new in it, something a bit more sick and twisted. And
he can still do the spear, but maybe not as
pass out.
Maybe not as a finisher.
A move he wouldn't do as the old Edge. That's what he's doing. Yeah. And that's the same as Reigns, as good guy, big dog Roman Reigns.
He still does spear Superman.
He wouldn't have done the
he wouldn't have done the guillotine. Yeah. I liked when they do that, and I thought that was an interesting way to finish it off the back of Rhea knocking him off the turnbuckle. I thought it was just going to lead to a spear.
It makes AJ look weak either because he's not giving up. He's passing out. He's just been interfered with, which leads on to that next match, doesn't it?
Yeah, and this match itself, like I say, we haven't really spoken about the actual moves, but it was really, really good as well. You got a lot of countering in this as well. Styles did like an Asai moonsault from the ropes to the outside, like straight away, like his first move in a match and stuff. And I was like, okay, we're in for a treat here, and it was really, really good. So I don't know whether it was better or worse than a Mania match, to be honest. I'd have to watch them back to back, and they'd probably be very close, I think. But
yeah, I remember being really high on the Mania match. But you're right, the Rhea bit here does bring it
make it a bit more interesting. But then you had the Priest. I suppose you had Priest at Mania.
You had Priest at Mania.
You did have Priest interfere at Mania, so
I guess it's interesting moving forward as well whether Judgment Day gets bigger. They've added 2 people at 2 pay-per-views. Are they gonna, if we get that 6-person match at Hell in a Cell, or even a tag team match, or someone else join at Hell in a Cell, is this their kind of just building? Because this is the kind of group I can see them building and building. I don't think we have to stop at 3.
Because I want 5.
Yeah, I don't think anyone believes it was just going to be Edge and Priest. I think we always thought there'd be someone else.
I think now you've got the dominant. You've got Edge as the leader. Yeah, you've got Priest can be the dominant male, and Rhea is the dominant female, and you can have a tag team in there.
Yeah,
that's what I would like.
I actually don't think Edge even needs to wrestle that much anymore. I quite like him sitting on his chair watching.
I think that's what makes it better for him, because Edge shouldn't be wrestling every week.
4 matches a year, maybe. He might do.
But he can still appear on Raw every week, cutting promos,
cut the promos,
and standing on the outside or sitting in his chair or whatever he's going to do. Yeah,
I'd still love to see Balor one day join them.
Yeah, well, again,
as like
that could happen
demon
next.
would be amazing.
If we have that,
I mean, we kind
match,
of predicted that. We kind of predicted that happening. It didn't happen here, but it could still.
You can create
happen.
such a good story, can't you, with AJ and then a betrayal?
Yeah.
I mean, you've said it so many times, Krusty. It's kind of your thing, but let's get these guys draped in gold. Let's give Rhea the women's belt.
Oh,
let's
do it,
because I think I would love to see Belair and Rhea have a feud for the title.
Yeah, I think she's the next. I said it before she joined Judgment Day. Yeah, she'll probably be the next one in line. Anyway,
Deville on the last Raw. I guess that's kind of.
I think
done
you
with.
at least need the women's title and possibly the
maybe
US.
Priest can get the US back, or
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, and like say,
or you can have a tag team join it and win the tag title.
If you include a tag team, I mean, I don't really know what tag team off the top of my head you could get. I mean, Mason T-Bar if they were still knocking about. But yeah, I don't know. It's just exciting. I mean, I'm well into Judgment Day.
We spoke about this
for another podcast, but I haven't seen. We haven't seen LA Knight yet, have we? Be pulled up to the roster.
Nah, he's been on Dark, hasn't he? Managing people. I don't know when he's going to come up. I think it's SmackDown.
Because I think he was. Did he have on Dark? Was it Mace or T-Bar that he was with?
He had Mace, and then he had Mansoor as well.
Yeah, he's had Mansoor and Mace,
and then he had someone else last week, I think, as well. He's had 2 or 3 different. He's been 2 or 3 different shows.
Didn't he do like Aaliyah or someone? Or am I making that up?
It might have been Aaliyah as well. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. It was someone. He's done 2 or 3 different intros.
I'm a bit worried with that. They're going to waste him, but I won't go into it.
Yeah, well,
so definitely for another pod.
Yeah, that doesn't really
just because you mentioned Mason T-Bar
doesn't really play into Backlash.
So the next match was for me. I mean, I actually did do a poll. Actually, it's kind of interesting. I'll get the results up in a minute because I can't remember exactly what they were.
Get them up.
But very interesting. This next one, I thought this one was the one match where it was miles better than their Mania match, and that's Ronda.
Oh, this was a corker,
which was a banger. And for me, I voted for it as my match of the night, even though Cody and Seth may have been better.
That's a big call.
I'm not sure.
I think I might agree.
I think I went for this because I like the finish more.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
If it was most improved, 100%. In fact, exceeds expectations in general, because I was not. We're talking about Ronda Charlotte here.
Yeah. Sorry, we haven't said.
Yeah, Ronda Charlotte in an I Quit match. I wasn't really looking forward to this. I was thinking this is not going to be a great match again, but the I Quit stipulation allowed them to bring all these weapons in, do some real mad stuff, and these guys they went for it. They had some awesome sort of fights in the crowd, some brutal shots with like kendo sticks. There was one point where I think Ronda had 2. It was just like absolutely battering.
There was a bit on the ramp, wasn't there, when they were staring at each other with the kendo sticks and then just went at each other. Yeah.
Oh, they really took it up a notch.
It allowed such different stuff because I didn't think about the weapons side of it when I thought of the I Quit match.
No, I didn't.
And I also forgot about the mic being adding to the match, and I thought it actually really added to it, with especially Ronda actually in this match, just saying like never bitch and stuff like that when they asked her. I just thought that added to it actually. I thought it was really good, and obviously I think the big thing as well is we got a new champion at the end of it, which is also maybe why I liked it so much.
Yeah, it's the only title match on the card, so I think it's the right. Well, it was the right choice. I think they maybe should have done it at Mania.
We'll get to Charlotte.
It's worked out right
about where she goes from here, because.
But my main takeaway from this is finally this is the Ronda Rousey we saw in her last run. I don't think I've been very critical of Ronda. I don't think she's performed yet in ring or on a mic. I don't think she's performed in either in a very few in ring appearances. But I thought she was superb here. Everything Ronda did was brilliant, so believable. And this again, maybe this kind of match just suits her character down to the ground. And loved. Finally, that's like my takeaway was like finally Ronda Rousey is back.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for her title run now. Whereas if she'd have probably won off the last match, although I think it was the right timing, the match was not right. Whereas this was so brutal, such a battle. It was like a proper fight, which is what you want Ronda to be doing, really, to make it believable from her background. Thoroughly enjoyed both wrestlers here. noted like one buckle bomb into the crowd barrier was just mad. It just looked like it hurt, which it probably did, to be fair. Some of the marks these guys had on them, but yeah, I can't really praise this enough because of how much of an increase in interest it gave me. Yeah, really loved it. Looking forward to see what Ronda does now.
Yeah, 100%.
I felt like the crowd was exactly like that as well. It started like lukewarmish, not that hot. But at the end of the match, I felt the crowd was so into this.
Yeah,
because the match was so good.
If you go into the crowd and do stuff like that, and it gets a bit brutal, you kind of get the crowd on side if you do that kind of stuff. And like you were said about Charlotte Fish, you might as well get onto that. They reported later on, I think before the main event, or
it was before the main event. There's a couple of little segments we'll talk about. We'll talk about this one first.
Yeah, but they mentioned that she has broken her arm and will be out for a period of time. I don't think they specified how long.
So obviously it's a story injury, and I had a theory on my little 10-minute review that they'll write her off TV for a few weeks or a couple of months, and then she'll come back and they'll do Ronda Charlotte 3 at SummerSlam. That's my theory. A bit like they were going to do the same thing. Do you remember last year when Bianca beat Sasha for the title at Mania, and then Sasha they moved her on to a different feud, Bianca, and then they were going to come back to Sasha at SummerSlam. And then Sasha actually got injured, and that's when they brought Becky Lynch in, and she won the title in seconds.
Yeah.
But originally that was going to be Sasha Banks, and then they changed it to Carmella because Sasha got injured. And then obviously it wasn't Carmella, it was Becky. But I feel like they're going to do the similar thing here, but they've used an angle to like Charlotte off TV, which I think she needs a break in terms of how it's.
God, I think we said this on the last pod that my God, Charlotte needs some time off. She needs to just change her character, please. Do something different. They need to with Charlotte Flair.
And so I read last night as well that she might be having time off for her wedding, so it might be the last time we won't see Mr. Andrade El Idolo for a bit on AEW, possibly as well.
Well, I mean, he has just been put in a coffin on AEW TV, true. So
literally buried him.
Yeah, he's literally been put in a coffin. So
so maybe they're taking time off and they'll come back, and Charlotte will. I'm sure she'll go straight back into the title scene when she does come back. But it means Ronda can move on to different feuds, which I'm happy for. In the meantime,
I
don't mind them doing Charlotte Ronda 3 if it's in a few months' time.
There is only one feud I want to see next, and that is Ronda and Shayna. That's the only person on SmackDown I think makes sense.
I don't think it's going to be her because she's in a tag title match literally on Friday. So
yeah, I think she'll lose that. Snap at Natalia, beat Natalia up, and then go after Ronda the week after. I think Ronda just gets promo this week.
I really hope you're right, Keeney. I just don't think.
If that happens, I want to see NXT Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, and I want to see because I can also have a proper brutal match.
I think we may get that feud at some point. I just don't think they'll do it yet. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Mark this, everyone. I'm saying now. After Backlash,
you know what we're going to get?
We're going to get Ronda and Shayna.
We're going to get Aaliyah challenge Shayna. I mean, not Shayna.
Ronda. Yeah, but you need someone believe it. I just don't know who else. Who else?
You say big. Shayna Baszler's big to us. Not to
Yeah, but they do have history, or they have like. Do you remember in the Rumble they had that little like?
Yeah, that was cool.
Moment. I think that they know, and I think the crowd has a little reaction from memory to that Shayna Ronda thing. I think there is something in that. I think it'd be mad to have Ronda Rousey and not do that feud at any point.
Oh yeah, they've got to do it at some point. I just don't think it'll be now because I think they'll drag this tag title feud.
You're building up to Hell in a Cell. That's the only thing.
Because they've got no other tag team, so I think they're going to drag the tag team.
You got Doudrop, Nikki ASH. We saw them
last
week.
That's literally it.
Combined.
But
what a tag team!
You only need one tag team, don't you?
Yeah. Well,
if Doudrop and Nikki get serious, I think it could be good. But
it could be. Anyway. But I don't think they'll do that yet. The other little thing I wanted to mention from this show that wasn't a match. We might as well talk about it now because I've got it on my notes next to this. Is we had a Money in the Bank advert done by Cody Rhodes in a massive. It's going to be at the same stadium as SummerSlam.
Oh, it's huge, isn't it?
Huge stadium, which is really
Money in the Bank is their like. They've got the 4 big ones. I think Money in the Bank's now I think there's now 5 big ones. I think Money in the Bank has made it.
It has really.
But the fact is that the stadium proves that. Really.
But what was interesting was the wording. I don't know. They repeated it on Raw and left this wording in. So
on Raw, has somebody been in the future?
Well, I'll just say now, we're recording this after Raw. Some of us have seen, some of us haven't. So we're imagining Raw hadn't happened. But I will say that this
apart from this bit,
because it's
Mystic Fish, we're going to call you now.
Exactly the same. I don't think there's any harm in me mentioning it.
No,
it was there again on Raw, and
fire your facts.
Yeah, so it was there, and it was there again, and they mentioned the. I was listening to it very carefully.
They mentioned it again.
Yeah, so they did say it again. It gives you the chance to main event. Does that mean
chance?
So I think they're saying
the title,
you can win the title, and then you could be a main event at WrestleMania because you're the champion.
Okay,
I've seen some people explain it like that, but WWE haven't clarified it either way, and that's what worries me. But
yeah, and
the wording is very weird.
I mean, it has to just be misworded. I mean, the fact they've not changed it is odd, but it has to be just because you cannot have the main event
that takes the magic away from it. You can't do that.
No,
everything Money in the Bank is good for is the surprise, and
WWE don't do
can cash in any time.
That
not
kind of long-term booking. That's like 10 months of long-term booking. It's not.
That's a big risk.
It's not going to happen.
It is impossible. And also, you got the Rumble as well. If you have the Rumble win a main event at WrestleMania as well, then
one thing I will say,
you've got both your main events.
Is how surreal is it to see Cody Rhodes doing the main WWE advertising? It's very weird.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
You think back a few months, and he was cutting promos about how NXT people change their names on AEW, and now he's like the face of WWE. It feels like it's funny.
They're doing it on purpose, aren't they? Just to rub it in.
I like it, but it's funny.
And again, I don't know when Money in the Bank is. I'm sure
it's 2 pay-per-views
you've
away.
got a date. But
we've got Hell in a Cell next, then Money in the Bank.
I'm telling you now, early doors. My early pred is Cody Rhodes is Mr. Money in the Bank. That's my early pred.
Probably will be.
I really think other options. I really think Cody's going to be the guy.
I think that a lot of people will be picking him. Put it that way.
Yeah. That's my
pred. He's in the match, of course.
I get my pred in now.
Let's move on to an actual match because
that depends unless you want him in the match at SummerSlam. That's the thing. If you want him straight in the main event,
it depends where you are with Drew or Randy or whoever. Anyway,
Randy,
Madcap Moss, Happy Corbin.
Yeah. So there wasn't too much to say about it.
Has anyone got anything on this one?
I mean, it was a good match overall, I thought. It just wasn't spectacular compared to the rest. But when
the crowd wasn't as into it as much of it.
It's in that spot, isn't it? You've just had a real pumped up women's title match. Then you're about to go into Roman Reigns, RK Bro. All the big hitters are about to come in. So you've got to have that go get your snacks break, haven't you? But still, I didn't think it was bad.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't bad. Well. It wasn't bad.
There's another sunset flip kind of.
That's the problem. This finish to me was
finish, and this is the third in four matches so far. Is it five
like
matches?
A roll up style.
That we've had
2 roll ups and 1 distraction.
Yeah, but this is I know it's not a pay-per-view to settle feuds, but just
I don't think they needed to do one here. I think the other 2, I think the Seth Cody one makes sense for the story with advancing that Seth tried to cheat and he failed, so he's going to be more pissed off, and also he can brand Cody cheating, which adds to it. The second one, I get MVP, obviously, was always going to be. I felt like that was inevitable that MVP was going to be.
Well, also, you could say Rhea Ripley as well. If you want to say 4.
Actually, yes. I didn't
the only finish that was clean.
Rhea Ripley, I completely discount, though, because I think that's so awesome.
But what we're saying is that's 4 finishes out of 5 where it's not been a finish, a pinfall, or a submission win. It's been a.
Well, that what the real
interference,
one was,
but because of an interference led to there's something led to a finish rather than a match and a finish. Yeah. And you're right, this one didn't need this interference.
This one was the one that didn't need. The other ones I felt had a place. This one, I think you could have just had Madcap win.
Well,
with his finisher, or Corbin
this is the problem though. Is I think you can justify all of them, and I think you can justify. And I'm sure if you had Vincent McMahon on the score right now, he could justify this finish to us. But
let's get him on.
When you're doing it 4 out of 5 matches, you have to sit down and think: is this too much for one pay-per-view? Are we going to do 4 non-clean finishes out of 5? It just.
Do you know what? I hadn't even thought of it until you just mentioned. I thought the 2 roll-ups, there's 2 roll-ups. That was a bit much, but I didn't really think about the other 2 matches. too much.
Yeah, I think
maybe because I liked the finishes.
Yeah. In isolation, I actually don't mind. Apart from this one, I don't mind any of the finishes in isolation. It's just 4 out of 5 matches. You're a bit like, oh, okay, are we going to get a clean finish tonight?
Yeah.
On a pay-per-view.
I get what you mean.
This is an episode of Raw. This is a pay-per-view, you know.
Yeah, and to be honest as well, Moss and Corbin isn't a match where I think people are excited enough to see the story continue. That's another problem with this, is people would have been happy if either one of them had just done their finish at 1 and they moved on. Whereas I think the Cody Seth one, people do want to see more. So doing a finish to set up, and even Edge and AJ, you can argue the same.
Well, this isn't a match that will go to pay-per-view. This feud will end on SmackDown. Surely.
I'm sure it will, but we're definitely going to get at least one more match, aren't we, after that finish?
Yeah,
surely.
Probably.
I don't see how they end the feud on that 10-set flip.
I want to end it on an end of days.
Yeah, well, yeah. That would be...
Not going to happen, though, is it?
Probably not, no.
Nah, not of old Madcap. He's on a roll, Madcap. Wonder Giant Battle Royal winner. He's just beat Corbin. He
does look good. I mean, when he, I love his thing where he starts running off the ropes. He's so fast, but I'm just not. I just need a different feud to get interested in. This is sort of gone a bit flat.
Absolutely. And what wasn't flat was the main event.
Oh, this was insane. Wasn't it?
Took a bit to get going. It started quite slow, but once it did get going, it was a fantastic. I
must say, I did like the build-up though to Drew and Roman, where like I loved the part where Roman tagged in and then was like, "No, hell no," just went straight back out again. I love that build-up, getting some tension going, getting some anticipation.
It was well booked.
I thought was amazing. He's so arrogant, isn't he? Which just adds to his character. Like the fact that he just like raised the belts in the middle of the match. That was awesome. In the ring, both belts in the air. He's just the man, isn't he?
He is the man, and these are right now potentially the 6 biggest stars on the men's side of WWE right now. Cody and Seth aside, probably.
Yeah,
these are right up there. These all of them, all 6 of them, even the Usos.
Yeah,
just because of the Reigns link, they've got to be up there. The match was brilliant. Chaotic, especially middle to end, was absolute
when the RKO
chaos.
started come out. It was
we had RKOs,
Claymore.
we had super kicks. It's all going on. We were absolutely flying around. But
dives, yeah.
I mean, were you guys? I mean, we all predicted RK Bro.
I was very surprised.
Yeah, I think we had 2 people in our league. I think we had 2 people in our league that went to the Bloodline. So it was a bit of a shock for me.
Yeah.
And it leads us, where do we go from here? And my thoughts were, and I think I said this on the review that I did, do you guys think they should do a Roman Reigns Randy Orton feud? Because Randy Orton right now feels like, we've mentioned it before, apart from maybe Cody aside, which you don't want to rush, Orton feels like the hottest babyface in the company right now.
I think including Cody's number 1 babyface.
It's definitely ahead of Drew, 100%.
If he does, he needs to win.
Yeah, I actually think one thing they could do, and this is probably isn't groundbreaking story writing, but have Orton beat Reigns for 1 belt, Riddle win Money in the Bank, Riddle cash in on Orton. That's how you have to Hilton. Then you've got an incredible title feud in Riddle and Orton.
That would be amazing.
That would be sick.
The only thing is, I want to see him that Mania or something like that. But
I've just
as a storyline, that is
could happen.
So good.
Yeah, well, okay. Riddle doesn't have to cash in until near Mania. He doesn't have to cash in straight away.
No, I know, but that means
they can play it out for a bit.
I suppose, but then I didn't want Orton to win the title for a while then, because I think we'd get bored if Orton had the title for like 8 months. I just don't see that.
Well, I guess it depends on his opponents. You know, I was going to say Edge, but we had Orton and Edge recently.
I'm wondering what happens, whether maybe Drew and Orton fall out because of this, and they have like a number 1 contenders match to who faces Roman, because they're like, well, we lost the match, or Drew has a go at Riddle.
Interestingly as well, Riddle took the pin, not either of Drew or Orton.
He has a go at him, so Orton steps in, and then they're like, well, we're going to have a match to decide who gets to face Roman or something like that.
I haven't Mystic Megged SmackDown, so I don't know what happens on SmackDown.
No.
But I will be very much looking forward to watching SmackDown on Friday to see that.
Definitely.
It's interesting. Match. And interestingly, Roman on Twitter after the pay-per-view put a video out, and where he basically said it was the 6 top guys, and he was like, actually, no, it was 5 of them, and Riddle was there as well. So it's like a little dig at Riddle, and that made me think, are we going to get Riddle v Reigns? I was like,
I think you could do Orton on his behalf, though. I think you can do Orton on Riddle's behalf, because Riddle taking the pin makes me think he shouldn't be going for Reigns right now. And Orton is more over than Riddle right now.
What about Riddle with the Money in the Bank?
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what I said. If Orton won the title,
Riddle Money in the Bank.
Oh, Riddle, yeah.
Champ.
Sorry, I meant Orton with the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, even. I mean, you could. I think
so much you could do.
I want to see Riddle turn heel on Orton, and I think the Money in the Bank is a very legitimate way you could do that. And
it would be a good storyline, 100%. 100%, it would be a good storyline. Very interesting.
Although, again, do they want to break up RK Bro anytime soon? Because they are as hot. I say, Reigns aside, they're the next hottest thing in WWE right now. They like need them almost at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, at the moment you have 2 people on both shows. You have Reigns and the Usos, Bloodline, and you have Orton and Riddle. They're on both shows at the moment. That's it. Like, I think that shows how much they think of Orton and Riddle as a team at the moment.
Yeah.
So
no, I do agree with you on that. So yeah, it's just really fun. I know we were all disappointed that it kind of they changed the unification match, but like you said, Keane, we knew it was going to be a good match anyway. Didn't we?
It's always going to be a banger.
And it was. I thought it was. So I'll talk about the poll actually now, because we've covered every match. So this was in the poll. The poll options were this, the 6-man, Charlotte and Ronda, Cody and Seth, and then I put other in case people for some reason thought Bobby Lashley and Omos or Corbin and Moss was
or Edge and AJ.
Well, Edge and AJ could have been a possibility, I suppose.
Was that not even up there?
Well, because you can only do 4 options.
Oh, okay.
Twitter,
sorry, I'm not a Twitter maestro.
So I just put other.
Sort it out, Twitter. Let's have more than 4 options on a poll. Come on.
Yeah. What we're going to do at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and the result was Cody and Seth got 47% of the vote. Ronda and Charlotte got 36, so it wasn't too much between them. The Bloodline match only got 16%. So,
surprising.
So yeah, clearly people thought that the women's match and Cody and Seth were the 2 best, and that was 3rd. But I think all 3 of them were really good matches. I thought Edge and AJ was good as well. The other 2 were kind of just average matches, but didn't harm the show. Is how I'd summarize it.
Yeah, it's one of those shows where going into it, there's only 6 matches, but the card looks strong just for 6 matches. There wasn't too much on the line. There was 1 title and no real stipulations. I think that was the main criticism on the other matches. But that being said, we got great wrestling, which I think we knew we were going to get with the matches announced. Yeah. But we also did get a title change, a significant title change. We did get Rhea Ripley arrive and join a group. Like we got that shock factor in the pay-per-view as well. So I think it probably exceeded my expectations.
Hugely.
I think so. Yeah.
Hugely so.
Despite me complaining about the 4 out of 6 finishes, and also just a weird quirk for this.
Sean's always got something.
Just a weird quirk for this pay-per-view. We started with 3 Raw, ended with 3 SmackDown matches.
I thought that was odd.
How often have they done? It's not the first time they've ever done that.
The last one was kind of a mix, but yeah, it was mainly.
Yeah, but it was 4 SmackDown, 2 Raw. Yeah,
but they had Raw commentary, so it felt like Raw. It was weird.
Yeah,
because I thought they were doing half the show, and the commentators. I noticed that obviously they had the half and half commentators.
Yeah,
but they actually put the Raw commentary team.
That's what's interesting. They didn't mix up Raw and SmackDown. They usually have like one and then another, don't they? They mix it up. But
yeah, but it was interesting that they did it in that order. But I felt like they did it for the commentary team. So they could just do it for that. I felt that's why they did it.
So yeah, good show.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. A pretty strong pay-per-view and leaves you excited of what's next, I think is the main thing, especially with the Judgment Day stuff.
Yeah. I think that's what you can ask for from a pay-per-view like this.
Even the Bloodline, like there's intrigue there as who's going to be next for them, because I was just expecting Drew to get the win and then that'd be the obvious next step. But it kind of leaves it open, and I like that. So yeah, there's quite a lot of intrigue, and obviously what's next for Ronda, because Charlotte's not going to be around as well, is an intrigue. So I think it set up stuff to be excited for. Which I like. It didn't do a lot in itself, as in massive news. Obviously, you've mentioned a couple of things there, but I think it's a good filler show for hopefully Hell in a Cell will feel really important on the back of this.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
I think in terms of wrestling, it was actually one of the best shows in a while in terms of actual in-ring entertainment.
Because they only had 6 matches and they let every match have like 15, 20 minutes. Like I don't know if Corbin and Moss went that long, but the four sort of main matches all went really long.
Yeah.
So it felt good. It was good.
Any other analysis from my lovely Recharge team?
No.
I think I've analysed it all.
We're all ran out of battery. I hope you are feeling suitably recharged. We have been Recharge Wrestling. Please follow us on Twitter at Recharge Wrestle. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Really appreciate it, and it really encourages us to keep releasing content. As you've seen already, we're going to keep releasing different types of content, and to keep you in the know in the world of professional wrestling. Keep joining and interacting with us. Can you follow our part of our group we're part of called Robot Republic? They are on Twitter at Robot Republic _ because they weren't quite quick enough to get the initial title. But yeah, we've really enjoyed being with you, and we'll see you on Friday morning for our next podcast.
Yep. See you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.